How's it going, everybody? My name is Jake, and this is Excuse Me If I'm Wrong with Jake Carr. Now, everyone has been talking about the recent news. I guess it's not that recent. A couple weeks ago, Texas and Oklahoma, it was leaked that they were going to the SEC. Big news, sent some shockwaves across college football. I personally was worried that, if the SEC gets Texas and Oklahoma, all the other Big 12 teams will bolt for a different Power 5 conference. It would then become a Power 4 conference type league in the NCAA. There would only be 4 power conferences from then on out. And I thought then, because of all the money of college football, that it would practically become just another NFL, which I was not too hip on because we already have an NFL. There's something special about college football and why I follow it more than the NFL. I like watching college football way more than the NFL. And it has a special quality that makes us all love it. But then we have now found out that the Big 12 is meeting on Friday, September 10th, to vote the 4 new members of the Big 12 in, which some sources have said is practically practically a formality to get these 4 new teams into the league, which is BYU, UCF, Houston, and Cincinnati, which I think each one of them bring their own special qualities to the table of the Big 12. The Big 12 actually, in some ways, is better off with these teams than they were before. They only had 10 teams before, and I think having a team in Ohio opens up that market in Ohio, and having a team in Florida opens up that Florida market, and then Houston, of course. You lose the biggest brand in Texas, obviously, the Longhorns, but you still have Houston and TCU to kind of open up that Texas market. And then BYU, of course, is in Utah, and Utah's not a big market. It's not in LA or a, Houston, Dallas area, but BYU does have a national fan base across the nation. Seems like they travel almost as good as a Notre Dame. They just have fans all across the country, and so you'll always see BYU fans at the BYU games. So I think they bring a lot to the table as well because they're quite recognized. So in terms of, is the Big 12 still a Power 5 conference, I think that they might become definitely the least best Power 5 conference. But I actually was reading an article, and there were some quotes in the article. One was from Chuck Niner. He was the league commissioner back in the 70s for the Big 12, and he said, "I'm confident the Big 12 is going to retain Power 5 status." And another Power 5 athletic director commented, "Bob Bowlesby has enough clout to make it stay as it is." So it seems like from not only, other people in the college football world, athletic directors and things, it seems like Bob Bowlesby is going to keep it pretty much how it is. The only thing that might change is money. The Big 12, when 2025 rolls around, they probably won't get these huge deals. It's gonna blow my mind the type of deal that SEC gets from like an ESPN and the other big networks, Fox, those big networks. But I think the Big 12 is situated rather well, and I think adding these new teams in could give national exposure to the Big 12, especially Cincinnati. I mean, Cincinnati went 9-1 last year, and they lost to Georgia 24-21 in their bowl game, which, in they went to the New Year's Six Bowl, and so who's to say that Cincinnati, with the resources of a Power 5 conference, couldn't, go 10-2, and actually, if there's a 12-team expanded playoff format, they might be able to get in. Or a Houston. Houston has had some good teams in the past, and UCF, of course, has been. They had 2 undefeated seasons in a row, and so who's to say you give all these teams some Power 5 funding, maybe they can, pay their coaches more, keep good coaching staffs, recruiting gets a little better, and then who's to say they couldn't compete for, top spot or a spot in the college football playoff in the future. So it'll be really interesting to see. I'm really excited to watch the Big 12 because I think the Big 12 is also going to be super competitive. Because you have Oklahoma State, who's been doing very well these past couple of years. They're a great program. You have TCU, who's perennially been a solid football program. And then in terms of basketball, you have, Kansas, who we all know who Kansas is, but and then BYU with their basketball program, they went to March Madness. They got to the dance last year, and I think they won in the first round, but they didn't make it to the Sweet 16. But I think overall the athletics will be really solid to watch in the Big 12, and a lot of Big 12 fans will stick around. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace out.